So we're going to go ahead and talk about this one more time because we have freedom of expression, period. And because this case went very public to the request of Alexis Lorenze. Alexis Lorenze published many stories, and she said that she wanted to share her story with the world. She asked everyone to please share her story, and that's what we did. However, when you ask for somebody to share your story, that does not necessarily mean that everyone is always going to follow your narrative or always going to agree with what you're going to say. And what can you do about that? You can't do anything because that is the people's opinion, period. Now, I am not saying that she didn't get injured. I know, obviously, she got an injury from vaccination. But if you watch my video from September 24th, you're going to be able to see. And please remember, this video is only for entertainment purposes only. What you hear here may be alleged, my assumption, my reaction, my opinion, my insight. Again, alleged, may be alleged, my assumption, my opinion, my insight. If you go to my video from September 24th, you're going to see how Nurse Angela explains to Broken Truth TV that this was a planned trip to a planned treatment. This treatment was an optional treatment. It was not a walk into an ER, I need to get treatment, and then they put her on the spot. No, it wasn't like that. Nurse Angela explained to Broken Truth TV that she contemplated it for days and days, thinking, I'm quoting her, thinking like, this is not a good idea. And if you don't believe me, go back to my September 24th video so you can see it with your own eyes. Also, there's a lot of people that still think that she was unvaccinated. Where did you get that? It came out very clearly on Fox News that her and her family, they clearly mentioned all of the members, they had not been vaccinated most of their lives because of religious purposes, allegedly, according to them. That's what they claim. But if you go to her dad's Facebook, it's all politics, and it's all politics against vaccinations. And I cannot agree with that. You cannot ask me to agree with a certain agenda. You cannot ask me to. And that's not going to happen. I am sorry. And I will advocate for Alexis for her recovery, not for a campaign against vaccines. Because vaccines do save lives. Now, if you are immunocompromised, and if you go against doctor's advice, you want to go get a treatment that is a medicine that requires vaccines, an experimental treatment, an optional experimental treatment, and that's on you, what you want to decide to do. And if you ultimately end up doing it. Nurse Angela said to Broken Truth TV that her last vaccine was around 5 years old. That's another proof that she was vaccinated. Now, another thing that I wanted to tell you was, Dr. Mark Galili, I asked him, why did you delete the post from Instagram that you had made on Alexis? And he told me, stop spreading a false narrative. I didn't, it was just stories. Well, I do remember visiting his Instagram, and what I'm thinking is he might have untagged himself or something. I'm not sure. I'm going to say allegedly but I do remember recopilating a lot of information. He once mentioned, Dr. Mark Galili once mentioned that It was not disclosed to Alexis Lorenze that she needed to get vaccines before flying out to go get that optional treatment. But what Nurse Angela said to Broken Truth TV says otherwise. Now, who are we trying to fool here? Who are we trying to fool here? Remember, this is only my opinion. It may be alleged. This is only for entertainment purposes only. Alright? If you are asking people to share your story, then you are asking people to speak about you publicly and make their own opinions. Okay? I have a very strong opinion. I started off sharing videos about this case. As I investigated more and more from this case, I started noticing that there were more and more conflicting things. So if you want to continue wearing a blindfold and don't want to see the truth, or the alleged truth, let's put it like that so we can protect this video, then that is up to you. Ultimately, it's going to be up to you. Right? UCI, Irvine Hospital, do a quick Google research. It's a research hospital. What does that mean? Research means experimental teaching. Alright? So, Alexis Lorenze is not a child. Unfortunately, she received a vaccine injury just as a lot of people out there that don't get this type of attention have. They weren't even lucky to get any kind of money if they were not insured to cover their recovery. All right? She has been very lucky to get donations. Now, about the whole remember, this video is only for entertainment purposes. Anything that you hear here may be alleged. About the Medicaid thing, I explained in my old video. If you don't want to go back to it, word on the street, these are rumors, this is alleged, that she had Medicaid, but it was not taken at her current hospital, or maybe it was not taken for that current treatment. Why? Maybe because that was not an emergency treatment. And she knew about it. She knew that it was not an emergency treatment. If it was an emergency treatment, she could have, walked into the ER department and have gotten it. Okay? I'm all about spreading the word about helping in her recovery, and this is why I am including the link to her donation page below. But I will not support whatsoever the use of these funds for an anti-vaccine campaign. That is completely impossible. She was an adult and she ultimately decided to plan for this trip, allegedly, against her doctor's advice. And because of this, I think there is no case. This is my opinion. Thank you for watching.